Calibrating cybernetics.
Talk to him now.
AT, Andre.
Come on, Dre.
Yep.
Trippin with Let's Go.
Woo!
Trippin with Theobold.
What's your name?
Theo so bold.
Yeah.
Driggity. Let's go. Trippin with Theobold. Trippin.
What are we doing?
Trippin with Theobold.
Come on, Dre.
See, mic check 1 2. Are we on? Hey, what's going on, y'all? And welcome to this edition of Trippin with Theobold. I'm your host, Andre Theobold. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the show. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, we got a doozy of a topic today. But before we go any further, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend, and do all that fun internet stuff. You guys know how we do over here in Trippin with Theobold land. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming to you guys live and direct from Theobold Studios, right? AKA Do-It-Yourself Productions. So as you guys know how we get down over here in Trippin with Theobold land, we got to start off with the tongue twisties. Got to get the mouth warmed up, pause. Right, we got to get the brain and the tongue coordinated so there'll be less trippage on the show. So here we go. So today's tongue twisties is brought to you by the letter X. So you guys can either read along with me or you can watch me struggle. The choice is yours. You always have a choice over here in Theobold Studios. So here we go. Number 1. Wait a minute, there we go. Xerxes Xenon expected to Xerox extra x-rays. One more again. Xerxes Xenon expected to Xerox extra x-rays. I never met anyone named Xerxes. One more again. Xerxes Xenon expected to Xerox extra x-rays. Tongue twisty number 2. Here we go. Extra, read all about XX in 6 and x-ray. That was weird. I just read it off the top. Extra, read all about XX in Fox 6 and x-ray. A lot of X's, man. One more X name than watching that porn. Okay. Extra, read all about XX in Fox 6 and x-ray. Still one more again. Extra, read all about XX in Fox 6 and x-ray. And final tongue twisty, here we go. Xavier Xenon x-rayed extra xylophones. Now, why would he do that? I don't know. We just reading the tongue twisties. Xavier Xenon x-rayed extra xylophones. And one more again, final time. Xavier Xenon x-rayed extra xylophones. And yay, tongue twisties are done. Got those out the way. Now, let me go ahead and do some quick promo real quick before we get into the heat of the topic. So let me make sure I'm ready to rock and roll with this. As they say, if you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. So here we are. Bada bing, bada boom. All right. So, okay, what's going on? Why is this thing working? Okay, what's going on? Let me go ahead and re-add this file. You know, when things don't work, you have to kind of try again, as I say. If at first you don't succeed, you have to try again. And that's what I'm doing. My having a little technical difficulty, but I'm about to fix it because that's what I do. I resolve shit. Okay, make sure I can cuss because I'm at the 2-minute mark. And this thing should be doing something now. Okay, and it's not. Interesting. Okay, my media player decides that it wants to crap out all of a sudden. Okay, bear with me, guys. Bear with me. This is uber embarrassing, but we gonna get it right. Got that. Let's try it one more time. If at first you don't succeed, Dust yourself off and try. Okay, let me stop singing because that's gonna just annoy you guys, and I'm not here to do that. Hmm. Okay, there we go. So here we go. I'm here. So yeah, so a weekend or so ago, your boy got thrown up at the Laugh Factory on Chocolate Sundays. Full house, packed house, 9:30 show. I got thrown up. You know, it's very, very important to be persistent. I I I hang around with a purpose. I put in the work, and I had the opportunity. Someone didn't show up for their spot, and they were like, "Hey man, you want to go up?" I was like, "Yeah," and they threw me up. They said, "Okay, you're not, okay. You going up second." So I went up. I had a good time. I rocked out on stage. I got some things I got to work on in the material. Like I'm working on my grad spot set. That's what I did. I basically ran my grad spot set, the one I'm going to run coming up. But it was a good set, man. I had a good time, man. The audience was engaged. They were on board from my first syllable. I got to tighten some things up. I flubbed a couple lines, but for the most part, I had fun. That's all that matters, right? When you put in the work and you have fun, look at the results, right? So look at your boy, Rich Mayweather. So this is me right here going crazy. I'm acting a fool on stage. Um, and look at me in my element right there. That's me right there. I'm in the zone. I'm in my happy place. I'm being silly. I'm being goofy. That's what I do. Bringing laughter to the masses. Not master, but mass. You get the point. Look at this. Like once I get in my pocket, man, and once I'm zoned out, man, I'm good, you know. But I'm about. Anyways, let me stop tooting my horn. I just had to show this, proud moment, happy moment. Hopefully, not hopefully, there will be more happy moments to come. What else, man? Um, this is a full shot of me here, doing my thing. Yeah, and also in case you guys didn't catch the last episode, um, I settled on a not settled. I have arrived at a logo that I'm happy with, right? For my stage name, Andre Theobold. This is the official Andre Theobold logo. It's gonna be on merch. It's gonna be on mugs. It's gonna be on cups. It's gonna be on hats, hoodies, you name it. You know. So this is the logo. Um, Also, my Trippin with Theobold hoodie, my official Trippin with Theobold hoodie came in. This is the Mark One official Trippin with Theobold hoodie. This is just prototype merch. Like I said, you gotta get high off of your own supply when it comes to this, So, my thing is right now is I want to have versatility with different types of merch that I can wear anywhere I go out, to represent me and my brand. All right. So this is the back of the hoodie, you know. Um, and then what else, man? Yeah, and I ordered I got my AT snapback and dad hat on the way. I just got the proof in the email, so I got to verify the proof. I don't like how the proof came out, but I'll figure that part out. But this is gonna be the hat, right? This is um gonna be the Mark One of my dad hat and my snapback. I'm also gonna do one for Trippin with Theobold, So this is just like I said, it's prototype merch. This is what I'm gonna be wearing for the rest of the year to represent me and my brand. And then next year, or towards the end of this year, early next year, that's when I'm going to be working on distribution and being able to like set up shop so people can come and be a part of it. So that's that, and that's that. So let's go ahead and get on with the crux of today's show. All right, let's go ahead and get on with today's show. I'm gonna pull something else up right quick. Okay, just so when I'm ready for it, it's already there. Okay, cool. So, recently it was reported, that there was an assassination attempt on former President Trump. And a lot of people have opinions one way or another about what they saw and what happened. Okay, so first off, let me just knock this out. Let me just get this off the bat, right? I don't wish death on no man. Like, I'm striving to be holy, you know. I believe in God, you know. I read the scriptures. I try to make sure I align myself with God the best way I know how. So if you do that, can't wish death on nobody, right? So first and foremost, I do not wish death on nobody. Let me just get that off. Let me just get that off the bat. All right. So today's episode is titled "People Don't Know Shit, People Get Told Shit." Right? Now, I know some of you guys out there are probably getting offended, and you probably got your panties all in a bunch, but whether you think what was presented to you is real or not is not I'm not trying to convince anyone one way or another, right? Some people think it's real what they saw. Some people thought it was planned. Some people thought it was an inside job. In my opinion, anything you think like is fair game. Anything you think is fair game, So here's what we do know, right? We do know that all news outlets reported that there was an assassination attempt on former President Trump, and they had video footage of the quote unquote assassination attempt, or assassination attempt. I'm trying to be very biased here, or unbiased. Sorry. A lot of people, have strong opinions one way or another. I will say that I am, how should I put it? I'm somewhat disappointed in the B1 community. The B1 community, if you look them up on YouTube, they got all their videos and stuff. I'm not going to call anyone out, that's not really my style. I don't call people out, but I will call people out. How should I put it? But I will call people out. What's the word I'm looking for? I can't even think right now. I will call people out indirectly, if that makes sense. And I'm going to do so by praising one person in the B1 community, and that is Professor Black Truth, right? Black Truth, to me, when he did his 29 minute breakdown of the assassination attempt, like, I'm pretty much in agreement with like 95% or more of what he said, of what Professor Black Truth said. All the other leaders in the Black community or in the B1 community, they were on that bullshit. They were saying like, it's, if you think it was fake, then you stupid. We don't need you in our community if you think this was a hoax. You're useless. I'm like, come on, dude. And the people that failed in the B1 community, the ones that I'm speaking about indirectly, they didn't really do any kind of critical thinking or any kind of critical reasoning. There was nothing. It was just, they took what the reporter said and they just regurgitated it and said, you're stupid if you think otherwise. Right? And that's no different than what the Democrats do. You know what I'm saying? So look, I'm not Democrat or Republican, right? Let me put that out there, right? I don't fool with either party. I don't. I'm gonna do a whole nother video on voting, which is gonna probably get your panties in a bunch, but that's for another episode. But right now, this is what the topic is at hand. This is the topic at hand right now. So, I had to cut off a lot of the B1, like a lot of the B1 leaders that came out with their Trump video. They were just trying to rush to get the clicks. They were trying to rush to get the clickbait. And they didn't do any analysis. They didn't ask any questions. They just said, oh, well, if you think this is fake, then you're useless to the community and you're stupid. So right when I heard that, I was like, man, click, let me cut this shit off, man. Stop wasting my time. I thought this was supposed to be the haven for black intelligent thought. Wink, wink. Come on, man. Anywho, like I said, I don't, all I know is what I've been told. Or all I know is what is being presented to me. Other than that, I don't know shit. See, I'm an old school MacGyver fan, man. Like, if you know anything about MacGyver had an uncle that had this quote, and I live my life by this quote. He said, only fools are sure of anything, but wise keep on guessing, right? Only fools are sure of anything, but the wise keep on guessing, right? So with anything that the media puts in front of my face, I'm like, hey, it's probably true, but it's a possibility that it's not. Sorry. Like, this is where the media has let the public down, right? Like, people that think stuff is fake, who's to blame for that? You can't blame people for getting fed lies and half truths and propaganda to when they finally start to catch on to shit. It's like you can't get mad at people for questioning everything. Right? And this is the danger of the media crying wolf, like basically, I'm kind of getting out of order. Let me actually follow through what I want to talk about. So, first of all, like I said, if you think what you saw was true, or if you think it was fake, I don't think anything less of you. I don't think you're stupid either way, I simply don't know. But what I will say is this is, certain things stood out to me, right? So like I said, I acknowledge the fact that all the news stations are reporting this is what happened. But on the flip side, what makes me think that this could be fake is, or that the whole thing was a setup or was a hoax, was one, you didn't see any extreme outrage, right? Like that's like, I don't like, a lot of times you have to trust what your eyes are telling you. And what I saw after what was being reported and all, like I said, I wasn't there. I don't have all the camera angles, all the camera shots. I don't have all of that. But what my eyes told me, why don't you see why don't you see any extreme outrage? That's the first thing I didn't see. Now, when I say extreme outrage, I don't mean people scattering, right? A lot of people said, man, well, black people and white people handle shit different, and I'm not even talking about that. Like, whenever there's someone that has been shot and they don't know if they've been killed, or they've been shot and it's pretty much like, it looks like they're gonna die, you always have like outliers. Like, you have people that are crying, like they don't believe what they just saw, or they get irate, they're mad. You see people consoling other people. You didn't see any of that. I didn't see any footage of that. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying I didn't see it. And because I didn't see it, I got to question it. It's that simple. Like when Damar Hamlin, like when we all thought Damar Hamlin died on the field a few years ago in Buffalo. No, that was in Buffalo, was it? No, in Cincinnati, sorry. When we all thought that Damar Hamlin had a cardiac arrest and died on that field, you saw like a look of just disbelief on people's faces. Like, what the fuck am I looking at? Like, it was a look of horror. You saw people crying. You saw people consoling one another. You saw all that shit. So in this assassination attempt, you didn't see any of that. Like, I didn't see any of that. Like even like people like, because they interviewed one guy that was next to someone that got killed. Maybe he just processes things differently, but there's a whole of like there was a lot of there was a massive amount of people there. So to not have an extreme reaction like from a handful of people, or to not have those extreme reactions captured, or to even possibly have even existed, I don't, it looks fake. Not saying it is, I'm just saying that's what my eyes told me from what I saw on the screen, and then you got some people that say, oh well, you saw the vapor trails on the video, so it had to be a shot, shots were there. I'm like, be accurate in what you are saying, be accurate in what you're saying, right? It wasn't your video feed, right? You didn't pause the TV and micro zoom in on it to see the vapor trail. You saw what the news gave you. You saw what they wanted you to see, right? I'm not saying it's not real, and I'm not saying it's fake. I'm just saying you have no control over the source of what you saw. So therefore, you have to proceed with caution. So I want to pull this up right quick too. Let me pull this up right quick for a second. Yeah, before we go any further, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend, do all that fun internet stuff like the old people say. So, you had a former sniper, Corey Mills, come on CNN and give his breakdown of like why the shot was like why it was an easy shot. So he didn't comment on whether it was an inside job or not, but he pretty much said it was real. But he was going through all of the technicalities behind making a shot like this, and why it was lucky, or why it was an act of God, why this person missed, So he went through all the technicalities, and I was appreciative of hearing out all of the technicalities behind a sniper shot and all that kind of stuff. I know nothing about being a sniper, so he's the expert on this, right? So you can trust his judgment on when he says, something is possible or not, But the one thing that that really stood out to me in this interview, the one thing that stood out to me in this interview that I found amusing, and the B1 leaders, or the leaders of the B1 community, they were coming out and saying, if this man says that it's real, then it's real, and all you guys need to just shut up. Once again, just, you got niggas that want to just be spoon-fed all the time. You know what I'm saying? And this is where critical thinking comes into play. So did you notice something interesting about this interview with Corey Mills? Did you notice anything interesting with this? Well, I did. In case you guys didn't, let me go ahead and just spill the beans, right? The interesting thing about this interview was how he was referring to former President Trump. Throughout the whole interview, he was calling him President Trump. He's not President Trump. He's former President Trump. He's former President Trump, right? Like that's kind of a micro thing that you guys have to pay, like you have to pay attention to. Or not, you can do what you want. But that's what I picked up on, because I remember when Trump was president, you had a lot of people on the left saying, not my president, not my president. Yeah, he's your president, right? So whoever is in that chair is your president. But he's doing this is some slick shit. right? He's basically programming, or this is programming people into thinking that the president had an assassination attempt on his life, and he wasn't the president. He's not the president right now. Trump is not president. So why am I making a big deal of this? I'm making a big deal of this because you have a source, and then you have the information that comes from the source, right? The information that comes from the source can be true irrespective of the source, right? But if the source is faulty, I'm going to really analyze and be careful with the information that I get from the source. So if he is if he's advertising or putting out subliminal messages referring to former President Trump as President Trump, then why is it far-fetched to believe that, one, this whole thing could have been orchestrated and it's a hoax? And two, what if he planned the whole hoax? I don't know. Is it probable? Probably not. But is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. Right? There's motive at play and there's an agenda at play. So you have to really, so if you think this way, I'm not mad at that. You know? And this is where the media, I think, has let the public down, right? Like the media got away from reporting facts to reporting propaganda and opinions. And for me, where I was like, yo, I really can't trust what the media says or what the news says, it all started with me, like with the whole Waco shit, right? Because when I was young, you know, all I saw on the news with the whole thing with David Koresh and Waco was images of this building blowing up and then, you know, catching on fire and then posting images of David Koresh, right? And they, for the longest time, I thought this dude took all them people's lives. Like he's the one that actually killed all the people in that building and himself. But when documentaries came out, and as I got older, and then I had to start reading between the lines, it was the FBI that fucked up, right? The FBI was responsible for killing them people, right? David Koresh, now don't get it twisted. David Koresh was a nut, but he wasn't, according to like my sources, or like I said, I don't know shit. I'm just being told this, and no one is coming out and refuting it. So according to later sources, yeah, he was a nut, but the FBI really botched this whole thing up, and they're the ones that actually killed those people in that building and David Koresh, right? So the media never came back and recanted what they said, and they never came back and even clarified, oh, this is what happened. We had this narrative from before. We have new information that now points to this, right? So now there's reasons why they probably didn't do that, but because they didn't do that, now you have a situation where people are going to trust the media less, or they're going to trust the news less. And then you're going to try to tell or say that people are crazy, but no, you can't pick and choose what you want people to believe. It don't work that way. Right? So anywho, you know, that's the whole that's my 2 cents on all that, right? So I'm not saying to ignore the media or to ignore the news. I'm saying just be careful how you receive it, and be careful on how you talk about what was reported to you. Because really, at the end of the day, all we're playing is a telephone game, right? Someone tells you something and then you take it as fact and then you move on with it, but you don't know. All you know is that you were told that shit. That's all you know. So, And here's another reason why it's okay for people to think that in my opinion, here's another reason why it's okay for people to think that the assassination attempt was a hoax or it was all fake, right? Is at the end of the day, Trump is an entertainer, right? He's been in the entertainment business for God knows how long, right? So if anyone knows how to trick the public or to put on a spectacle, it would be him or people in his camp, right? And then two, Donald Trump got to keep some of that same energy. You know what I'm saying? Like when he didn't agree with what people were saying about him or stuff in general in the past, he would just say that was fake news. It's fake. It's all fake news. So if the news is fake for him, why can't it be fake now? Right? I'm not saying it is or it isn't. I'm just saying we have to be careful how we receive information and put information back out. Like I gotta be careful what I wish for, but if I could go back and redo high school again, which I don't want to because I've been through that, man. High school was long for me. But if I could go back and redo high school or redo history in high school or anything that's non-mathematical or science related, I would do something intentional, right? And the thing that I would do that is intentional is if I'm asked a question about a historical event that took place, I would always start off the answer with, according to, and I would list the textbook, according to textbook such and such, this happened in 1492, right? Or according to textbook such and such, this happened in 1776. And I would do that for two reasons, right? I would do that for two reasons. One, I would do it to make sure that I train my mind to always be aware that I'm being told something as opposed to me actually knowing something, right? And then two, I would do it to let the authorities know that, hey, I'm aware that all this shit you telling me could be lies, but I'm doing it so I can get a grade and get the fuck out your class, right? That's how I would answer this shit, I know it's a little passive aggressive, but there's a point. There's a whole point to it because a lot of times people want shit to be true. So for shit that people want to be true, they'll take bits and pieces of stuff that they've read or what's been told to them and stand on it as fact, but they haven't really proven anything. They're just going off and repeating what they've been told. So that's that. I want to kind of wrap up with this one last point. Yeah, I kind of want to wrap up with this. So like I said, I don't condone any of the actions of the alleged or the assassin or the alleged assassin. I don't want to or unalleged or alleged assassin. Like I don't want to I don't condone any of that. I don't condone violence. That's not how I'm built. That's not how I'm programmed. I don't believe in that. I take death very serious. Death is final. Because when someone dies, it's like, that's it. There's no chance for righting any wrongs. There's no chance for reconciliation. There's none of that. So I don't condone that. But what I will say to kind of wrap everything up right quick is Trump's actions after being grazed, Trump's actions afterwards or right after being shot or being grazed was stupid. Trump's actions were stupid. I will say that. I will say that to his face. I will say that to anyone's face. Fake or not fake, when you react that way to getting shot the way he did, that's stupid. It's stupid. Like a lot of people are saying, oh, it's inspiring and I'm inspired and all this. Okay, well, go be inspired somewhere else, or Go be inspired at your own risk is what I would say. But here's why what Trump did afterwards was stupid, right? If you believe that you have this vision to lead the people and only you have this vision that is needed for the country to get to where you want it to be at, and if you dodged a bullet and it was a grace of God that got you out of that, why in the fuck would you try to come out again and pump your fist to the people knowing that there could be a second shooter? He didn't know that, if it was real, he didn't know there was a second shooter. That first shot could have been to be like, okay, we know this motherfucker's arrogant. We gonna get him with the first one, but when he pops out again, get him on the second one. Right? Now your message and your vision is gone. So now basically, it's stupid because you're putting your pride above the vision and the knowledge of what's best, of what you think is best for the people. That shit is stupid. There's nothing to be praised about that. Right? I forgot what law it was in the 48 Laws of Power, but there was a situation, or there was a story about a Russian czar or something. He's like a leader or something. I forgot the guy's name, but the moral of the story was he basically did something to become at odds, or he did something to become at odds with the king, and the king ordered him to be hung. Right? So he was supposed to be hung with other criminals and stuff. And when it was his turn to be hung, the rope broke or snapped or whatever, and he lived. And then right after the rope broke, he was like, "Oh, look at these people. They can't even make rope right." So word got back to the king that the hanging failed, and the king was going to let the dude go. The king was going to be like, "Man, okay, whatever. We'll let him go." But the king asked, "Hey, what was his last, what did he say right after the rope broke?" And he said, "My God, they can't even make rope right." And the king was like, "Oh, if that's so, go hang him again and make sure we have the best rope possible." And the second time it killed him, right? So that's the whole same, it's the same mindset behind that Trump shit, right? If you dodged a bullet, you need to be ducking for cover to get out of Dodge so you can live to fight another day. Right? That's the whole point. So, anywho, like I said, I don't wish death on nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at people if they think it's real or think it's fake. I'm not mad at people call me stupid for not knowing or taking the stance that I take. I don't give a shit. You know, I'm just telling you the way I see things and the way I process information. And I'm aware that if I think I know something, I have to consider where I heard it from or where I got it from and how did I arrive to that conclusion. Right? So there's that. And at the end of the day, too, I think Trump's actions after he got grazed was stupid, you know? And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but end of the day, I'm going to call a spade, and that shit was stupid. So, anywho, what are your thoughts? Do you think it was fake? Do you think it was real? Why or why not? If you want to troll me in the comments, troll me in the comment section, you know? If you got questions or if you got answers, please put it in the comment section. That's what it's for. It's about communication. It's about open dialogue. Once again, you guys have been cool. Thanks for listening. AT is where it's at on most forms of social media, so make sure you follow me. And with all that being said, I'm out of here, folks. Peace. Yep. Trippin with Theobold.
Let's go.
Caliente.
Trippin'.
Yep.
Trippin'. Trippin'. Trippin' with Theobold.
Trippin' with Theobold.